Here's a video on the fairy gardens I'm doing. The video I'm going to put up is going to have a picture of one that I just did. My enchanted garden, avatar, blah blah, whatever. Can't use her name, so it's going to have to be enchanted garden. But this one's going to be a Chinese version one. That's just a piece of driftwood I found, our old piece of wood. I threw some varnish over it, harden it up, and give it a little shine. We're going to use that like as a rock. I had this little guy around, just trinkets that I find, makes the box basically. You find one thing and you work around it. He's the center of it, and this. I found him a long time ago, so this is just an old base, which went to this, and it comes off. This, if I put it on the base, is too high for perspective. So I took it off the base. We're going to make that into a fountain. I'm going to take that base and one of them rock things, whatever they are, and I just flip it upside down. He's going to be mounted to that for a statue. The box is just an old box. You can make them yourself. You can buy them, find them. I just painted it red. And then the trees I'll show later. It's just foil. This one would happen to be an old branch. You can take old branches, you can take foil. I'm going to show you different ones later. And you take some wire and wrap around, give yourself some branches. And now these I can either paper mache over these and give them actual branch look, or I may put these on there and trim them down like so. This is going to be a cherry tree back here. I call landscaping in the box. It's designing something, just putting it together with your own perspective and seeing what looks good where, what works. And this is going to have a little path going through here to the water fountain with the white rocks, the black rocks, and I have some black and white sand. So we're going to put them in here. I just get the tree painted. I paint them all black first. First I take the paper mache. This one has brown paper bag and some glue. And just like when you're a kid, you just put the paper on, put some glue and water on it, let it stick to it, let it harden, and you end up with that. And mistakes seem to be what you want. Nothing, you don't want it to be perfect. You're not trying to make it perfect. If you do, you're not going to get what you want. The flaws are what make it unique and realistic. So what I'm going to do is paint this one black. You always start with the darkest color first. That way you get depth, and then I'll go over it with a light gray or a white or brown, depending on my colors here. But you'll get to see it as I go along. This here is just a, like I said, this is an old Avon bottle, I think. And the bottom I just happened to be able to break the little, there was a little top on here for a cap to go on right there, and I just tapped it until it snapped off. I'm going to put a little thing of rocks here. It's got the little Chinese bamboo. And then I found these old bowls a long time ago. They just been sitting around. I'm going to clean that up. And I have a I forgot what it's called. I don't remember my rocks now. But if you're a gem person, you'll know. It's very smooth, very shiny, very heavy. Magdalite or magnite, something like that. That's going to go in the bowl for the centerpiece. This will sit here. I'm going to take some rocks and pile them up around it, and then give myself some greenery, foliage. Basically I want the sand to stand out more than anything, so there won't be a lot of foliage in this one like I do a lot of the other fairy gardens. Really, it's just landscaping in the box. It's not even really a fairy garden because you add your own stuff, or it's whatever you want to call them. I mean, it's just fantasy in a box, I guess. You name it. I haven't named them yet. I just sit and get the perspective of different ideas. This I was going to use in a different one, but then it fit this perspective very well. So it's going to end up being in this box. I have another box that's going to be coming up also, which I don't know yet. That's what this one was going to be used for. That one was going to be more of a kid's one. This one will be more like an adult one, I guess. And then my enchanted garden, which you've probably seen if you watched the other video. If not, go back and watch my other video. There will be pictures of that in my video I'm going to upload tonight, hopefully, if I have time. The Aquanet hairspray you see, that's for spraying trees. It helps stick things to stick to it. I guess we'll get started and get organized here. I have little flower. All these flowers just came from flowers that my wife has around the house. I plucked a couple here and there, and I have come across some through her throwing them away, so I saved just the flower pieces over here, the leaves. And then I'm just going to take these, put some pink in them, and glue them together, and those are going to be my cherry blossoms. Which that's it. This is going to be a cherry blossom for the Japanese cherry blossom to fit the garden. So we'll have that there. Try to keep your colors together somewhat. I mean, you can do all you want. It's your own choice. Your garden, put it in the way you want it to be. Let things just flow. They'll come together real easy. Let your imagination go. But remember perspective. I mean, certain things shouldn't be bigger than other things. A chair should not be bigger than your house. A table should not be bigger than your house. The tree should always be the biggest thing in your scenery. Perspective. Rocks can be, yes, enormous. Statues, smaller than a tree. Alright, I'm going to get started here doing some painting and gluing, and then we'll come back later. Okay, here's what I did. I just took those little branches I had, those little wires sticking out, and I wrapped foil around them all. That gives you, like I said, you're nothing perfect because the paper and the paint's going to do it all. All I do is take a brush with some water, dip in some glue. You want your glue sort of runny. And you're just going to go around, start slapping some glue and water on there. And all it does is make it a little sticky and tacky. Because towel paper is going to, or paper towels are going to dissolve a little bit on it. And as they do, they're a little tacky. I mean, it's a little pain in the butt at first to get them started. Just stick it to the glue, wrap it around, get it where you want it pretty much, squeeze a little bit, rip off the excess. Now take a little glue and a little water, just like you did when you were a kid. Stick it down. Just follow the contour of the paper towels. If you wrapped it that way, rub the glue and that way too. That way it don't have a tendency to pull back off on you. And a little more light. And just rub over it. The glue will make it hard. The water makes it sticky, so it sticks better. And just go about doing the whole thing like that. Sticking paper towels to them. These help hold the foil down, because you will have places where the foil wants to come undone. But this fixes all that, so you don't have to worry about that while you're doing it. And just use the wet brush to push it all down, and it'll slowly form itself. Like I said, there's no errors. Okay, we're back. My SD card. Sorry. I was going to get a new SD card, but my truck decided to get crap, so the Lord said I had to fix my truck before I get an SD card. I'm not famous, you know. So, here's the deal. I got this little plant made in there. I glued him together. I painted the tree all black. figured I'd show you how to highlight it. Okay, it's all painted black. I took that foil, picked my shade over it, as you see. Now that gives you a nice rough texture, and that texture is what you want to give it that texture for the tree. So we're going to take a little brown. Let's see, we have a container, yes. Take a little brown. Cherry trees are a little darker, like a crab tree. It's going to be a cherry tree, Japanese cherry tree, cherry blossom. Here's my brush. I'm not organized, no, not at all. Okay, what we're going to do is we want to lightly cover this. We're not trying to paint the whole thing. So we're going to get our little rag here. You just want some on the brush. Don't know if you'll be able to see it, but you just want to go along and pick up, whoa, even way too much. You just want a dab. And you want to go over those rough spots. Which will pick up the brown. When they do, that will give you the texture of bark. And it's just a light feather, light hand touch, and just keep doing it here and there, moving around. Just don't stay in the same spot. Just move the brush, move the tree, whatever you're painting. I mean, I'm barely touching the brown, barely. Dab off what I got extra. And then just go along and touch it. It don't matter no direction, no nothing, just touch it. All you're doing is trying to get a little brown and some of them spots to stand out. And you might do this in layers. Might take one, might take two. You have to let it dry a little bit, see how it looks, what it picked up. If there's any spots that need a little more. The whole thing is just to get that bark look, and you'll get it. It's not that hard. You'll be amazed at what you get at the end. The effects are awesome. Just let it happen. I found it on accident. I painted stuff before and no different basically than antiquing, I guess, or anything like that, whitewashing. You're just dabbing little bits here and there. I know it looks like I'm going over the same spots, but what I'm basically doing is just rubbing it into the texture. Letting the brush to dry brush it, if you know what dry brushing is. I mean, I really didn't know that's what they called it. I guess that's what it is. So you just pick a little bit of paint up, brush it over the surface, get the highlights, and you can always add a lighter color even than the brown if you really want it to come out. Usually I stick with that color, lighter colors over the black like that for my stone. And I stick with the darker colors for the trees. But like I said, just by adding and adding. I know my light's really bad here. I'm hoping you're picking up some of this. Let's see. I know it's still dark. It's gonna get there. The more you put on, the lighter it'll get. By watching it. As it dries, you'll see where more needs it, where less needs it. But the whole point is just put light amount on at a time. I mean, you can go as brown as you want, or leave it as dark as you want. It's really what you want, and you'll get to know the difference as you do it. As the colors come together, you'll see the colors, one show more, see like that. Once the browns come out, you're leaving dark spaces underneath, which is your bark look. Go out, look at a tree. Gives you a great idea. Look at the bark. It's gray, white, brown. Pick up a branch. That's what this was originally, just a little tree branch that I modified into this. All I'm doing is just putting coat by coat here and there. Wipe off the little extra, you don't want a big glob. Just basically want to get rid of most of the black, but a little bit at a time. By doing that, it causes the effect of bark. Try it for yourself. You'll be amazed. I try to hit the ends to give them the dark brown look, because usually the end of a piece of wood you can see the rings and they're lighter color than the rest of it. So as I go through, I just hit the ends really good. Just straight brown. Give it that tip look of a branch. Not a lot to it. I want to save my space for some more. We got the rocks to glue in. I made that plant so far. This needs to be glued down. And then I'm going to bring a rock formation, I think, up to it. You've got to be mounted in here. Then we're going to have a little path going in here with different colored sand. But I'll show you more later. Since I last did it, I told you guys, I didn't have all the rocks set in. I glued the rocks down, finished the tree up. Just shiny because of the light. Let's see if I can get a better light on it. Then I put some sparkles in the little water thing and a lily. Glued in that, build a flower in. Put my grass in. Some rocks. Put them flowers in. As you can see, the tree came out really good, like I was saying. Close up. What we're getting ready to do now is put the cherry blossoms on. Right there. And I gotta paint them with a little bit of pink in the center or red to give them that cherry blossom look. And then we're gonna do sand in here. So once we get going with that, I'll show you some more later.